Oh, that's cold. That's cold. Woo! Frozen fruit is one of the great wonders of this world. And you know what else is a great wonder of this world? Arc Raiders. When I started my YouTube channel 1.5 years ago, 95% of my content is Roblox content. And I was 100% sure that that's what I wanted to do. And then I realized that Arc Raiders came out, and I was like, holy shit. And I played it, and I was blown away. I think everyone that has played Arc Raiders recently has been blown away. And the reason being dates back to Escape from Tarkov. I'm sure a lot of you don't know Escape from Tarkov because it is literally the original looter shooter that makes you want to jump off of a cliff in game. Whenever you came home from work to play Escape from Tarkov, you would go in with your best gear, die in the stupidest way, and then lose it all. The reality of looter shooters is high risk, high reward, and that is something that Arc Raiders did amazingly. Whenever you got on Escape from Tarkov, everything about that game was punishing. You had to load your own magazines, you had to do stupid quests, you had to level up your traders so that way you could get better items, and you had to level up so you could get better items, and then you had to do quests to get better items, and then you had to kill people that are like doing super stupid peaks and like all this. Everything about the game was rough, realistic, and just hard. It was meant to be punishing to play Escape from Tarkov. And then after years of Escape from Tarkov being one of the only extraction shooters that was insanely popular and gave you everything you wanted, one of the things that Tarkov was really good about is they had all original everything. Like everything was new. It looked like a game that you had never seen, never played, no reused textures, no reused animations, no reused sound effects. Nothing about Tarkov looks like any other game. And that is what set it aside from every other game that tried to be the next big thing when it came to extraction shooters. The amount of potential that extraction shooters had was ridiculous, but no game could bring it to the main market because it's just too punishing. It's not for the casual viewer. And that's where Arena Breakout came in. It was a mobile game that was turned to a PC game, and everyone was looking forward to it because it had the advertisement that it was less buggy and it was more for a casual gamer audience. Now the issue is that games that were made by Asian companies, especially extraction shooters, they have a very copy and paste style when it comes to their UI and the overall feel of the game. You just can't take it away from the fact that it used to be a mobile game. And there's another extraction shooter on PC that feels exactly like that, and it's also an Asian made game, and it's called Lost Light. If you compare the two, they are very, very similar in their feel. And the feel, it just isn't very good. The execution was done right, but the overall material that they used just wasn't the best. It didn't have that Tarkov feel. It didn't have the feel that everything was original, everything was rugged, but also a casual gamer audience. And Tarkov doesn't have that casual gamer audience, so that's why it never made super mainstream. Delta Force is the same way. It's good on a battlefield perspective, but once you go to the actual extraction shooter part of it, it is not the best. And then that's where Arc Raiders comes in. They take everything that Tarkov had, a good concept, original textures, original sounds, original animations, original concept, everything about it was good and new. They took what Tarkov did not have, which was the ability for casual gamers to play the game, and they made it. When you come home from work and get on Arc Raiders, it's like walking through a park with a rainbow and deers and butterflies and flowers all around you. And when you get home from work and play Tarkov, it's like stepping on Legos and nails and having lightning strike you. Arc Raiders has every single dad possible. There's two ways you can play Arc Raiders, which you can't do in Tarkov. Because Tarkov is such a serious game, it doesn't have the ability to be casual. Arc Raiders lets you be casual. Either you can be friendly, which a lot of people are, because the main premise of the game is to fight arcs, aka robots, instead of punishing other players and stealing their gear, especially single dads. And so there it is. Everything that the extraction shooters did not have, Arc Raiders had everything. And it really took the extraction shooter audience, the extraction shooter concept, the game mode, everything to another level because it had all the ruggedness, that rough feeling, that scary feeling you get when you're going to lose your best gear, but it also had a casual take on it. You don't have to eat, you don't have to bandage up your heavy wounds, you don't have to worry about getting shot in the face and dying immediately. You don't have to worry about any of that. That's why it won Game of the Year. I strongly recommend anyone that wants to get into extraction shooters, now is your time. It has reached its prime, and I believe that it's just going to go even further and further. I think this is going to be the next Warzone, the next Fortnite. Extraction shooters are the next thing. Imagine you're playing Fortnite or like Battlefield Red Sec, Warzone. You get in, all that gear that you find, you keep it. That is just a crazy thought to have. Imagine going into a map and it has that battle royale aspect, but you actually keep that items. That little dream you had when you were playing Fortnite at 7 years old and you were like, holy shit, golden scar. Oh my god, I wish I could keep this. But no, victory royale comes and it's gone. But that's what extraction shooters give you. That good ass item that you get in a game that you really, really want to keep. You actually get to keep it. No matter how many people say that Arc Raiders is going to die soon, it's not. But there is a slight issue that I have with the game right now, and that it is a little repetitive. The one thing that Tarkov had that no other game in existence had is continuous quests that like reach over 100 quests. The amount of quests that Tarkov had just kept the game fresh all the time. If you don't want to chase people and fight like enemies and all that, you can go quest. Sure, you might die a little bit, but you're going to get reward from this. You're going to feel good. You're going to progress and unlock better items. In Arc Raiders, there's not that many items. There's not an insane amount of guns. There's not an insane amount of high risk, high reward. You could go to one high loot area and possibly get one of the best items in the game. There's nothing locked behind traders. You level up to like level 10 and you have everything. You can buy everything from the shop. There's not a lot to buy. They need more of a high risk, high reward aspect. Even just having like you get to level 75 and then you can buy more items. That's a good idea. They need to have more reward for the more time you put into the game. So that way it'll actually feel rewarding to put more time into the game. And you're not just going through the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And if you know anything about Arc Raiders, you know the person who really propelled it over the top is the Burnt Peanut. And this dude is hilarious. He brings everything to Arc Raiders. He started an entire war with the community, which just thousands and thousands and thousands of people participated. Every single game you'd go in, they were wearing the outfit that he told them to wear. Just a random dude wearing the outfit that he told everyone to wear, because that's his team. And in doing that, he brought about a huge audience from other games to Arc Raiders just with his personality and his clips. But the issue is that every single time you watch his stream, all he's doing is going in the game and recycling the same items, killing the same people, getting the same items. There's no more reward. He has everything in the game, and then he's just killing more people to get more of the same items that he already has. Tarkov has insanely rare items. You could work for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and not get this item, and then you get this item and you're shitting your pants to get it out of the raid. Arc Raiders needs that feel. They need it. They shouldn't give snap hooks out for quests. They should be able to it should be much harder to find very rare items. They need to lock high loot behind more doors. It doesn't need to be this accessible. High tier loot is too accessible in Arc Raiders. And then low end weapons are too good. The entire point of an extraction shooter and why it makes it so fun is because you go from nothing to something, and then having that something gives you so much reward, but there's a lot of risk. But if you look at all of the legendary weapons that are very hard to get, the blueprints are super easy, but the actual guns are pretty hard to get. They're buns. They suck. They really suck. They need to get rid of the blueprint aspect in terms of legendary weapons, make them fucking overpowered, and then put them in the loot spawns. So that way, if you go in, you have like a 0.5% chance of getting this weapon, but when you do, it's real good. There's not enough content right now. There's not enough. They need to make quests more exciting. They need to lock more things behind quests so that way you're forced to do them. It gives it more of an actual feel, an actual purpose. Right now, if you want to, you can just level up and buy anything you want from the trader and then go in and kill everyone you want, and you don't have to do a single quest in the game to get further. You don't have to do a single quest. They're just optional. That shouldn't be the case for all the quests. At least some of the quests should be locked to where if you complete this quest, then you'll be able to buy this item. Then you'll be able to craft this item. The game is too simple. I know how I praised its simplicity earlier and said that's its breaking point, and that's why it's such a good game, and that's why it took the extraction shooter genre over the top, but that's also going to be its weakening point. It's just too simple, and that simplicity doesn't give you enough to do in the game. Like right now, you're supposed to get on and get $5 million in the game, which is like 100 raids to get that much money if you like are just a casual gamer and you go in and you don't get the most insane amount of loot and you don't loot the best spots. That's so many hours doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. So it just relies on luck whether or not you're going to get that 5 million. And there is methods to get this 5 million, but everyone is already farming these methods. It's now being abused. You know, there's not a main method to get that money now, because as soon as you go to use these methods that people have planned out, everyone's already using them. So you're just going to die immediately. And the reason why you need this 5 million is because in a few days, you're going to be able to prestige. And once you prestige and you go back to level 0, you have the chance of getting 5 new skill points that you could put towards your stats. Each million that you get, it will represent 1 skill point. And you can have up to 5 million, which is 5 skill points. And so this huge option of 5 new skill points is locked behind 5 million. That they didn't tell anyone that you would need that much. And then randomly they're just like, oh, you need this much. And you're going to spend all this time getting 5 million doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And then as soon as they release the new map, there's no new items to get. None. None, okay? You reset your stash, you're now back to 0. What, you go in the game, you get lucky, and you get one of the best items in the game. You level up to like level 15, you can buy all the items in the trader. There's nothing locked. And so now you're back to that point that you were before of just going in, killing people, getting the same items over. You know, all you need is a free loadout and you get like insane amounts of damage using the beginner weapon. I think that if they keep going on this path, the game might actually die. The haters might actually win. They need a big revamp of how they go about this, in my opinion. This is all my opinion. I just think that it would make the game so much more fun and way less repetitive if things were locked behind actually having to put effort. Like with the stat system, it's very good, but once you get like level, for one, the stats don't even give you that much. Like if you look at Tarkov, the stats are gained gradually over time. You don't have stat points. If I sit here jerking my cock, it's going to level up jerking my cock still. I can't just choose to put stat points in jerking my cock in Tarkov. But in this, I can choose to put stat points in jerking my cock. In Tarkov, you would spend like 80 hours and you would have like 70% max stats on one thing and like 20% on another and then 100% on another, and it's just like random over all of them. In Arc Raiders, if you spend 80 hours doing one thing, then you're going to have all the stats. You're going to have everything. You can choose what you want. You can put anything in anywhere. You could shove your fingers in your ass. You could do whatever you want with the skill points. And that's another thing, is you progress too fast in terms of skills. Like, they should make the skill trees longer, so that way whenever you hit level 36, you don't already have one of the trees maxed out. There should be the ability to slowly progress no matter how many hours you put in. In Tarkov, you spend like 300 hours getting Kappa, which you have to do like 300 billion quests to get, and that puts like more fun for everyone. If you want to casually play this game over and over and over and over and over, you're not going to hit a point where you have everything. But in this, you do, and you hit it very fast. But anyways, Arc Raiders still changed this genre. It's only going up from here, hopefully. And they need to fix all of the shitty glitches because they are not doing anything about it right now. Has an amazing execution, amazing concept, amazing launch, amazing game. Everything about it is amazing, but the direction it's going right now is pretty poor. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my video. Check out my main channel. Peace out.